my name is Sydney White. This is my Hoover High School Professional Development Plan for Instructional Leadership 620 with Dr. Allen. All right, raise your hand if you are wanting more time to learn about the technology available at Hoover High School. Raise your hand if you have been intimidated by differentiated instruction before. Okay. A couple of months ago, I sent out a survey about PD needs at Hoover High School. And what I discovered from that SurveyMonkey was that teachers wanted more time learning about differentiated instruction and the technology available at Hoover High School. As far as the location, teachers tended to want to stay at the high school for professional development. They didn't want to have to go to workshops or the Board of Education or other schools. And teachers preferred to have professional development during teacher work days. Their second choice was during one of the 2 prep periods that Hoover High School allows us. And the least favorite was during the summer. Teachers don't want to give up that summer time. So I developed a goal, or 2 PLCs, but one goal from the survey given to the 10 teachers that I chose. I wanted to implement 2 school-wide PLCs, or professional learning communities. One would be on technology, and one would be for differentiated instruction. We would have a representative from every department be a part of one from technology and one for differentiated instruction. Then those experts would come back to our departments, and during our department meetings, we would have the trickle-down effect of them teaching us how to implement these 2 different things that we chose. The school itself would develop very broad goals for technology and differentiated instruction, and so when we returned to our departments from those PLC meetings, we could develop smaller goals. We could tailor that to fit our specific content area. So we would have to ask ourselves, before we establish those goals, some essential questions. As far as technology goes, how does technology enhance communication? We're becoming a more and more virtual environment. How would it enhance collaboration, and how it would help students, administrators, and teachers present information? As far as differentiated instruction is concerned, we would have to know, why do we need it? When do we use it? And how would differentiated instruction improve student learning? For me, and I think a lot of teachers, I would have to know that it would be very effective before I bought into it and implemented differentiated instruction. I also was, before our new teacher training, I was under the impression that if you did differentiated instruction, you have to do it every single class period, and that's just not true. So as far as my rollout plan, for spring 2016, I would try to do these things, because the goal would be for the 2016-2017 year. In the spring, we would develop the PLCs, so the departments would choose which person was better for technology and which person would represent each department in the differentiated instruction PLC. We'd have to get the calendar committee online, because I know that this year Hoover High School does not have any time when we return from Christmas break. We don't have any teacher work days. And I know that for me it's going to be really hard to start school on the exact same day as the students start. So we'd have to get the calendar committee involved and make sure that those teacher work days are built in for this to actually happen. Those days off for us would allow more, larger chunks of time. As far as our prep periods, by the time you say hello to everybody, and you only have like 20 or 30 minutes to work, and that's just not enough time. In August 2016, when we return from summer, but before the students get back, we would have our department level meetings. Well, the PLCs would get together, talk about the school-wide goals, and then each representative would return to their departments, and the smaller goals, the tailored goals for each department, would come up with their department level goals. The ongoing PD is the most important part, because embedded professional development has been proven to be much more effective than like 2-day workshops, for teachers to go to 2-day workshops and learn a lot of stuff, but yet it's not necessarily tailored to each content area. That's less likely to take a long-term effect versus the embedded PD that we do weekly or daily. with the people around us. So the ongoing PD, the department meetings would be at least twice a month. One meeting would be for differentiated instruction and one would be for technology. We'd have quarterly surveys. I'm sure Jennifer Hogan would be all about sending out surveys to make sure that everybody's on board, see how, how she can help, how the other administrative team can help, etc. The school blogs is something that I'm excited about. So we would have 2 school blogs. One would be for, well, each of the PLCs would be represented. But if we had a great idea but wanted extra help, we could go on there and we could ask questions, and people that were considered experts in the field, they could help. We have an assistant principal here that's over curriculum and technology. She can take pictures of teachers implementing these things and placing them on the blogs, and so we would know how to use these things, who to ask for more help, etc. It would also sort of, it would motivate me if I saw that people were doing all these fun things. It would give me ideas. Assistant principals over their respective departments would go over lesson plan implementation and make sure that those things were being implemented properly. And the open door observations are another thing that you could go in and see how different teachers are implementing these things and get great ideas. So next week, for example, there are 3 of us going to 5 different teachers' classrooms during one of the 2 prep periods that we have. And so then we get together afterwards and talk about what we saw and what we would like to use in our own classrooms. So again, this is ongoing. It's weekly, monthly, and it's embedded, and it's more likely to take effect. In October and January, so October at the end of the first 9 weeks, and then in January before students return from Christmas break, we would get together in those larger chunks of time, not during our prep periods, but before students return, and we would give evidentiary support of what we were doing and how it was working. We could also get together and ask our the other people in our department, what did you do, how did it work, how should we tweak it for next year, etc. In our April work day, this would be around spring break time, so it would be another full day of planning. But we could get together and talk about, okay, how did the year go? Was it enough time? Do we need more days? Take that final survey. How should we change things for next year? And how can we make things better to improve student learning? As far as Hoover High School is concerned, we're not new to PLCs. PLCs have been around for a long time. As far as their effectiveness, I think people have sort of varying opinions about this. And but we do know that teacher leaders are all over this school, and embedding PD here, it would be easy because they're experts down the hall. We can ask our peers for help versus going to these expensive workshops, taking time off from school. And so using our resources here would be the most effective. Okay, I've left some of these surveys on your way out. I would really, really appreciate any feedback that you would have for me. There's a comment section. This is an evaluation of both the plan and the presentation. So I would really, really appreciate that if you would fill that on your way out. And then again, thank you guys so, so much for doing this and watching my presentation and letting me do this in front of y'all today. So grab a donut.